Hello and welcome to Asia Gaming Brief's Face-to-Face series. Today I'm talking with Kevin Lee, who's a senior sales manager with Aruze Gaming in Macau. We're going to be talking about the evolution of electronic table games in Macau and the broader Asian region. We're also going to be discussing the recovery in the US market, as well as some of the challenges suppliers are facing from disruptions to the supply chain. Thank you for joining us, Kevin. It's great to see you here. Let's kick off with Macau, shall we? What are you seeing in Macau at the moment in terms of demand and trends?
Hi, Sharon. Good morning. Thank you for having me. And it's such an honor to be here today. Macau right now is looking slow, and I'm sure we are all aware about the current policies in place. It's not conducive for business, especially where we are coming from gaming. Nonetheless, we are still very optimistic about the future and, of course, the potential of the Chinese market as a whole. We are confident that I think in the very near future, 6 to 8 months, I think we will see some recovery signs, which is much more promising for us to decide what to do next year.
Obviously, one of the biggest trends in recent years in Macau has been the acceleration of electronic table games. Are you still seeing that demand?
Yes, certainly. Yes, it's still a strong demand here. It's slow because of the surrounding situations that we are facing today. But we see huge potential. It's just a matter of time. It's just how we are using mobiles today to do so much. Right, so labors is getting more and more scarce and also expensive, and I'm sure the operators are looking at creative ways to mitigate their risks and also reduce shortages that probably will come a bit later. To capitalize, like certain operators in Asia, they are looking into expanding live terminal ETGs in a recent 3 to 6 months times.
So in Macau, you obviously had the 2.0 regulations come in last year. I think there's going to have to phase out a lot of the old machines that don't comply in the next 2 years or so. Do you see that as being an opportunity?
Yes and no. It's depending which part of side you stand, right? So it's definitely there's an opportunity for us, for the market. It's just that the timing is hard for us. So, the 2.0 standard is a good initiative by the government to bring Macau to a more international surface. So it's not like we think that anyone can come in and just do whatever they want. So it's good how government have think it through and see how they can regulate and make it an international market. And it will definitely be a huge opportunity for us, at least for Aruze, and because we are strong in the electronic table games, and being one of the pioneer in the market, I think we are in good position to do so.
Obviously, we've also seen big changes in the Macau market lately with the VIP, the loss of the junkets and the loss of the junket rooms, the VIP rooms. Is that an opportunity for suppliers like yourself with that additional floor space?
Yes, it's definitely a huge opportunity there because there's a lot of space. And we are still trying to grasp, what is the future of gaming here? Like, what is the direction in the future? We are in position to take advantage of it, but it really depends at the end of what operators want to do, given the challenges surrounding them. And with the new policies and Technical 2.0, I think it serves as a deterrent for now. But once it's stabilized, I think it will be a good guideline for the operators to do more and how they can creatively improve, the revenue, improve, job opportunities, improve Macau as a whole.
So outside of Macau, you just mentioned that there are opportunities coming up. Where do you see most growth?
Well, whichever country that open up first. I think we know that right now, as of now today, Singapore is very aggressive. It's one of the it's not surprising to many, but for us to know that they have such a huge appetite all of a sudden, it's a sign. So I think they are going to be the first one to open up and enjoy, the surge of demand, pent up demand. And secondly will be Malaysia, and then Philippines will follow. I reckon that Vietnam will be next.
Are ETGs popular in these markets too, or
very
more? Yeah.
Very popular, yeah. Depending which segment of the ETG, because ETGs is just subdivided in many different design and multi games, semi-automatic games. So in Southeast Asia, roulette is one of the biggest game. So you see many terminals in Genting, Malaysia. You see many terminals in the Resort World Sentosa, Marina Bay Sands, and so on and so forth. And I think Philippines is coming up next. And the rest will probably follow through as well, I believe. Yeah.
Right. And are you having seeing any troubles at Aruze in terms of supply chains? I mean, we're talking about end user demand, but there's also been a lot of trouble with chips and supply chain disruptions. What's going on from that point of view?
It's unfortunate, and we are going through the same phase as everyone in the supply side of the business, and it's inevitable because of the COVID policies of different countries, and we will just have to be creative and think of a way to probably reuse some of the old technologies, bringing them back and sourcing elsewhere and further. Yeah. We are facing the same problem as the rest, and the logistics, shipment shortages, containers, this all have a lot of effects on us, and we are caught in the middle because all these prices has inflated tremendously over the past 2 years, and we got no choice but to swallow them, right? So we can't just increase the price as we like, and it's difficult times.
Where is your manufacturing based?
We are based in the Philippines, Batangas.
What about the US? I mean, we've talked about Macau and Asia. I know you're doing very, very well in the US right now. Can you give us a little bit of a picture of what you're seeing there in demand and how things are bouncing back?
In the US as of now, yeah, we're seeing huge demands and huge appetite. They keep asking for more. And we are facing a problem to meet their demands. It's a good challenge, for us, and we just have to overcome. How can we get the materials faster? Products deliver faster, and also produce more with limited amount of cash. So it's a very different market in the US. It's not so cash driven. Most of the products that we supply or we produce are being shared or leased. So it's challenging for us, but it's not a bad message. I think it's a good. We just need to find ways to gather more finance, more support, more funds to meet the demand. Yeah.
So most of the machines are shared. Are you pushing more for direct sales, or is that just your operating model there?
We always do. We try. So we want to diversify as much as possible, not over dependent on one way of business, and we are trying to promote more cash business, even at a very competitive rate. But we also know that the market right now is in a recovery stage in US. Like they are doing really well, phenomenal. They beat their numbers in 2019, 2018 pre-COVID times, and but they have suffered a long time too, and they're trying to recover. So right now, I think moving forward after the pandemic, operators will be more cautious about their spending. So they will not jump in and just spend, ridiculously like before, like good times, and they will think carefully. If possible, they would like to lease it, or maybe work with you and just let's see how the market goes. Once the market is good and stable, then they will look into buying it or acquire it permanently.
Right. And what sort of products are going down well in the US at the moment?
Right now, in terms of ETG, is the roll to wing crabs, 10 terminals. It can be operated with dealers or without, and it's very similar to our Lucky Sigbo or Dragon Sigbo here in Asia. So crab is their big thing.
Sounds like you've got some pretty good challenges out there in the sense that your final demand is strong. But this manufacturing issue is really going to be a bit of a problem for some time to come, isn't it? I mean, not just COVID now, we have all the disruptions caused by the situation in Ukraine. Do you see that having an impact as well? Or?
Yeah, I think that's the question that people ask, and I'm often, hearing about the concerns that that affect the supply chain. I've double checked with my team and also management's, our factory team. Like, as of now, there's no immediate impact, in terms of supplies. But on the contrary, we foresee that maybe there will be a price hike. There could be a price hike,
Of the raw materials.
Of the raw materials, yes, that's what we forecast. But up to now, to date, nothing yet.
So can you tell us anything that you have in the pipeline at Aruze that you're looking at now? Any particular new product lines or?
For Asia right now, we will that we will continue to focus on developing a more intuitive and innovative electronic table games, and we're constantly looking for ways to improve, and also by listening to the customers, to the operators out there. And the primary focus for now is Philippines and Singapore. And in terms of product type, it's still gonna be this Road to Win Crabs and also Dragon Sigbo for electronic table games. For slots, it is still quite a wide range of games we have. We used to produce like steppers, 5-reel, mechanical machines, video games. So those we continue to develop, not specifically for Asia, but we will cherry pick and identify, which are suitable for which market. We can't just apply one game for all. We learned that over the past 10 years in business here in Asia. Like, everyone is different, very unique. Every market is so unique. So we just have to just go into the market or go into the country, meet every single operator, and listen and get as much information as we can, then decide what we want to launch. Yeah, we will have around 6 to 8 titles coming this year in the Q3 and Q4. We're not in a hurry to rush or to bring out these games, because every single game that we produce is costly. Not just physical cash, but in terms of resources that we use. We want to develop the compliance and testing. All those is actually expensive. We just go into deep down and just see, do we really need this? Do we want to do this now? So timing, understanding of the market, is intelligence market. It's all important for us right now. Yeah.
Has it been, I mean, I know you're in Macau, I believe, right? But how hard has it been over the last couple of years for you as a business in carrying out that kind of research and being able to talk to operators? Because Zoom is one thing, but it's not the same as face-to-face, is it really?
Yes, I agree with you completely. That's why gaming shows, seminars, talks, all these are very important for us. We see the value of meeting face-to-face. After all, we are human. We are social animal. We need to meet and talk. Yeah. If I have a choice, I'd rather meet you in person. And go through this interview together. But unfortunately, we can't because of the pandemic. So we will still focus. Like right now, I'm here, but I have team deployed all across Southeast Asia, and it's unfortunate that I'm not able to be there to support them. So I'm actually making a move to leave Macau, not for good, but just to go out and just help my team a bit and try to see if there's anything we can do more out there. Yeah, for the time being, Macau will still continue to be an important market, but we just have to work on those short-term opportunities and and see if there's anything we can actually gain and while Macau slowly recovers.
Thanks, Kerry. Is there anything else you want to add?
We want to focus on ETGs. We foresee that in the future that ETG will take over tables, because tables is very label driven. We need table today because a lot of players don't read. They need help with the game, or probably they don't know the game. Right, so ETG is a bit hard for them. They have to actually click on the help screen and just read what it does and how much I get paid and how much do I ban, what is the minimum. So much information. So they're kind of overwhelmed here, the players here, because they're so used to table games. So that transition is very difficult. It takes time. We have to be patient with it and keep educating, showing them as much information as possible, but not overloading it.
Right.
So it will take some time, but yeah, I think it's still a very good approach towards gaming.
That's quite a prediction that ETGs will take over table games.
Yes, that's how our founder visualized it. They say that, hate to be cruel, but we don't want to take away some of this job opportunity. But that's how the market will be in the future. It's like everyone is just so familiar with phone. Back in the old days, like my parents having trouble using iPhone. They're so used to the buttons, right? So it takes some time. Right now, my dad can use iPhone. He's very familiar with it. So it's just a matter of practice. I think when your surrounding peers are all using it, you are forced to actually reinvent and also study and learn. So that's how we look at ETG. I think in the near future, there will be a lot of ETG in gaming.
Thank you for joining us today. Please join us every Friday for Asia Gaming Brief's face-to-face series, our interviews with thought leaders in Asia's gaming industry.